Well, howdy, folks. How's it going today? I hope you're all doing really good. Well, I've got the partscaster pretty much done and resolved the issue I was having. Just getting ready to intonate it right now. I do apologize for not having these videos in, chronological order. It's just how it goes sometimes. I have, a few different things I'm working on, and I have to just kind of spread myself thin some days, on each little project. And with multiple sclerosis, it's tough. Some days I just can't do it. So, I get behind, and that's how it is. I'm always trying to play catch up. So this one, this actually belongs to my father. He brought this out, wanted me to go over it and do a few mods to it. It's got a nice feeling neck on it. It did have some high frets and some sharp frets. Took care of that. And he wanted to put a set of Tex-Mex pickups in it, so I put those in for him. And the bridge plate that was on this guitar previously just wouldn't work out. This bridge plate that's on here is a Squire Affinity plate, okay? Now, these are different. They're a 1/4 inch longer than a regular stock telly plate. The angle of the pickup is different as well. So, you can check out my other videos. I did kind of go over that. So what was happening was, the other bridge plate is a 1/4 inch shorter. And as you can see, about where my saddles are right now, I'm about a 1/4 of an inch from hitting these screws right here, okay? Now, I was able to intonate the guitar with the other bridge, I should say, but all the saddles were, right over these screws that mount the bridge plate to the guitar, and it just wasn't right. You know what I mean? The little Allen screws were starting to bend and do funny things, so I decided to replace it with this one. And this had 6 individual saddles in it when it came new. The problem is this is a top loader. This isn't a string through body, so you got the holes on the top part of the bridge plate, the back of it, for your strings, and then underneath it should be right in line for the screw that goes through that holds your saddle. Okay. Well, all these ones were offset. So the string hole and the saddle screw were offset by at least 1/8 of an inch, and they weren't even symmetrical. Some of them were just kind of wherever they felt like drilling, I guess. So, there's always that. That's the fun of parts casting, guys. So you gotta kind of make this up as you go sometimes. So what I ended up doing was I drilled 3 new holes in the correct spots and put brass compensated saddles on it, okay? And I think we're going to be pretty good as far as intonating, so let's check it out. Alrighty. Okay. Now you should do this in player position, but I'm going to just do it on the bench to get it close here. It's pretty handy. Whoop. Okay, let's check it at the 12th fret. Little bit sharp, so that means it's got to go back. On the screw here. Little tricky to do right over the camera, but okay, so we're just gonna push this back. Of course, now your strings are gonna be a little sharp. Now, if you're using brass saddles where you have 2 strings on it, you should make sure that's tuned to pitch too. I try to tune all the strings up to pitch and then check the intonation, because that's going to, put the amount of forward bow or whatever's going to happen with the neck when they're all under the same, well, not the same, but when they're under string tension that's up to pitch, okay? So I always make sure I tune them to pitch and then check them. Oh, we're getting pretty close. Little bit flat. Just kind of let that settle out. Okay, we're going to go back just a little bit more. All right, let's check it again. Okay. Check that again. Okay, a little bit sharp. I'm going to take it back just a little bit more. And again, I mean, we're getting back close to those screws, but we should be good to go here. Now, when you're building these things with parts, that's good. It's important to check, the neck pocket dimensions, the heel of the neck that you're putting on. If the length of the neck is off by, a 1/16 of an inch or an 1/8 of an inch, or the neck pocket is, that's going to throw your intonation off that much as well. So, that's stuff I kind of try to pay attention to. It's not always right in front of you. You have to kind of, check every inch of these things when you're doing it. You can run into some awful headaches. Okay, so those are still just slightly sharp. So they got to go back a little bit more. Okay. All right, the A's good. Let's check the D. So the D is a little bit sharp. I'm guessing the G will be too. Make sure we get it tuned up to pitch. Okay. Yeah, so that's slightly sharp too. So those ones will have to go back as well. They're pretty handy though. Now what I'm doing is just pushing on the saddle as I tighten the screw to make things move a little easier. Brass strips out quite easy, and the screws they give you with this stuff is usually junk, so when are they going to make guitar parts with good hardware and screws? It's probably how they save. Alright, we're getting handy now. What you can do is, if you get one that's right dead on and the other one isn't, and you're dealing with compensated saddles, you can take a file or some sandpaper and you can, adjust that slope or the little bevel on the saddle yourself and gain a little bit more. Still a little sharp, okay. That's good, I can deal with that. Alright, let's check the B and E. B's just slightly sharp, open. Same thing at the 12th. Let's check the E. Good. Now I did hear a little tinkle sound down by the nut on that E string. Now what that tells me is it's pinching in the nut. If you hear that little, when you tune and you hear it go clunk, a tinkle or whatever, you know. I'll see if I can replicate the sound here. Hear that? That sound. That's a telltale sign it's binding in the nut a little bit. So I'm going to have to file that out just slightly. And once you file those, you know, that will go away. 99% of the time, that is why your guitar does not stay in tune. It's usually not the tuners. It's usually the nut. And that's what happens. So a good way to check it is hit the open string, bend it behind the nut, hit it again. Now that's scratched, but... So, you know, once you get your string stretched out, hit it open, bend it behind the nut, look at your tuner and make sure it comes back to that same open note. Do it with all your strings. If you hit the string, bend it behind the nut, and it stays sharp or it goes flat, then you probably got something going on in the nut there. And, you know, it's not a big deal. They sell files right on eBay or Amazon. They kind of look like these right here now. These are just inexpensive, but they work great. So what you have is one side of the file is for string 1 and string 4, string 2, string 5, the 3rd and 6th strings, okay? So each side of the file is a different width. And, you know, you just keep track of that. It works out really well, honestly, and saves a lot of time. There's a lot of different methods to filing out nut slots. They make different tools to do it, but I like these files. I've just gotten used to using them here, and they work good for me. One thing I don't like about a lot of these bridge plates, this guitar needs to be wiped off, but as soon as you wipe that chrome off, it scratches it instantly. I don't know why, but that's what it is. It's a partscaster. I do need to clean it, but, you know, it'd be nice to, if this was going on a brand new guitar, that would kind of be a bummer, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I think we're good to go on the intonation. I think I'll file that nut slot out real quick, though, and then we'll plug it in and see what it sounds like. Okay, just to show you, I just run that file through there a couple times. Now listen, see if we can hear that tinkle sound. See that? It's gone. Now let's check the B. Not bad. I can hear a little tinkle. The G string. That one's good. You know, the wound strings usually don't do it. And, you know, if you can just slightly hear it, don't file it. Just let the string wear itself in there from tuning and playing. You don't want to wear these out and file them down any more than you have to. Now, I'm sure you guys know the little trick where you will touch, you know, in between the 2nd and 3rd fret and just tap on it or measure it and make sure there's enough clearance over the 1st fret. Now the B string's a little bit high, but I'm going to probably play it a little bit, see what it feels like, and then if I need to file it, I will. Alrighty, folks. Well, it's getting late. I'm in my pajamas, so forgive the attire. Plugged into the little shop amp here. It's just a Fender Sidekick 15. We'll take this to the studio in the next day or two and see what it sounds like plugged into some bigger amps and stuff. What I'm really trying to do tonight is just see what it sounds like, see what the volume of the pickups is compared to each other, and I'm really going to be trying to, you know, see what the feel's like, what the action's like, and make sure I, you know, get that right in case I need to do any more tweaking on it. All right, so let's see what the neck pickup is here. few things that I just, just that short amount of time, I've noticed quite a few things. Uh, First of all, the A string nut slot could go down a little bit, and the G and B string as well. They feel kind of springy, and they feel taller than the other strings to me. I do this in just increments. I'll take that A string, pop it out, take a couple strokes of the file, put it back in, play it for 10 minutes or so, and make sure it gets seated in there. And I don't like to take a lot out at once. I hate filling them in with super glue after you go too far and dealing with that. So it's pretty close, and it feels good. It's got a nice feeling neck. So really slender neck on this. So anyway, let's check the pickup volumes real quick. Now this is something else that I will do. Let's start on the neck. Both. Bridge. Yeah. Neck. Both. Bridge. Now that's pretty much ideal for me as far as a Telecaster. I like to have the bridge pickup a little bit louder. It might be a little closer to the strings. I'll move those up and down until I get it just right. If the pickups are the same volume, if they're even, when you're playing rhythm, and say you go to play lead, and you go to that bridge pickup, even if the volume's the same, the lack of bass, compared to the neck pickup makes it sound thin. Of course, where the pickup is placed close to the bridge makes it sound thin too. I kind of like to have that just slightly louder, just a little more sass than the neck one. And that way, it doesn't get lost in the mix. And when you switch to that bridge pickup, when you go to play a solo or something, if it sounds thin and weak, it's really going to mess up your playing. At least it does me. So I like to have that just slightly louder. And that's pretty close right there. Everything else seems to be pretty good. Like I said, I just got to take care of a couple of these nut slots are still high, which that can mess with your intonation. You play chords in the first position, they'll sound out of tune, even if your guitar's in tune, and so forth. So, that's really just finesse work. You need to take your time and dial that in, to the radius of the fretboard, so to speak. So, and you got different thickness strings, so you can't just do every one the same. You have to like I said, put a little finesse into each one and get them so they're perfect. That's really important. If that's not right, if the action's high on either end of the fretboard, it can do funny things. Now, I am going to check the relief again, too, now that I've played it a little bit. Things will move, once you get the vibration going, so this is going to be a killer telly, though. Especially if you can get a good guitar player to play it. It's got a good spanky bridge pickup in it, and I like the sound of the neck one, too. I think it's going to be a great guitar, really. It really plays well. And, for having small hands, the neck profile feels really nice. Almost like a slim taper 60s Gibson kind of. Maybe a little smaller. But it's got that kind of feel and vibe to it. Really cool. So all in all, this is going to be a really fun guitar to play. And I think it'll serve me well for many years. It's my father's guitar, but he's going to play it for a while, and then he told me I could take it and do whatever I wanted to it. So, really cool. I love these partscasters. It's just a fun thing. They're different. They're unique. You never know what it's going to turn out like until you jam all the parts together and get everything lined up. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Sometimes you can come up with, something that's just magic. It's really weird how that works, but you pick up 10 guitars and boom, one just kind of speaks to you. And that's what's cool about these. You can kind of, move the joystick and control what's going to be done to it. So, build them so they fit you and they suit you. That's the biggest thing. You want them so they, play to your expectations and fit the needs of how you're going to play. So anyway, folks, I really do appreciate you sticking along. I wish I could have done this in one big video, but I've been tinkering on this guitar for 2 or 3 days, off and on. So it would have been a long, boring video, probably worse than this one. In any case, thank you so much. I appreciate all the kind words in the comment section and all the support. And welcome to all the new subscribers. There's just people showing up daily here. And, I really do appreciate it. And I hope you guys enjoy this stuff. We'll see you real soon. Be good. Okey doke.